Hey folks, welcome back to Electric Mindset. So this time around, I have something I didn't expect to like as much as I did. And don't get me wrong, I thought it looked great, but it usually takes more for me to get into this type of game. In the end though, I really like this project, and I want to see what you guys think of it. Now, the graphics options in a game like this are understandably few and far between, but one thing worth mentioning is the zoom slider, which I really appreciate. I wouldn't worry too much though, because the game looks great as is. So my first impression of the game was pretty surprising. I really like the much more anime-looking characters than similar games like Stardew Valley, Gleaner Heights, or Littlewood. Once I actually started playing the game, I was also surprised to see that there are some really nice quality of life decisions present, like not having to worry about energy and only the time of day. The story begins with you moving to the beautiful fantasy town of Sunhaven. You've decided to move to Sunhaven to farm the lands and eventually a lot more, as Sunhaven needs a bit of love and care. As you settle in, you start to realize how massive this game is and just how much potential there is in this project. Now this may be just me, but the game plays a lot better than the last game I played like this, which was Stardew Valley. The little details, look, and quality of life features make me enjoy spending my time in Sunhaven a lot more than Stardew Valley, which will undoubtedly be what this game is compared to most often, I think. The game mixes up the formula by adding fantasy race to the world, an in-depth multi-page skill tree, adding things like double jump or more damage to resources. The combat skills are especially cool and something I look forward to toying more with. Everything controls well and the game feels really great to play overall. Like I said, Pixel Sprout Studios is bringing Sunhaven into a genre with things like Stardew Valley, Gleaner Heights, Littlewood, and Story of Seasons, but is such a big personality of its own that it has claimed its own place amongst them, even beating some of them out for me personally. Now of course Sunhaven has the life sim part you've come to love in all its glory in games like this, but I actually like the different fantasy races in the game. I'm not saying I'm going to sim for a cat girl or anything, because, come on, I'm a big, strong, 30-year-old man. I am going to find a way to marry that cat girl though. The much heavier focus on the RPG side of things really makes me love this game. I just want to max everything out and plant an obscene amount of garbage plants in my property so the neighbors worry about the depreciating property values. Another pleasant surprise for you is that the game supports 8 players online co-op. What the f? I don't have anyone to play with, so I don't have footage of it, but if you have friends, you can settle into Sunhaven and go adventuring together. In terms of graphics and the technical aspects, the game looks just fantastic in every regard. From the character art to the animals and creatures, I have no complaints about any of it. All the sprites for the characters are really well done, and the portraits are loaded with tons of little details. The environments are easy to sink into and spend time in. On top of all this, I haven't experienced any crashes or bugs in my time with the game so far, which is awesome for an early access game. The world feels like it's existed forever, and Pixel Sprout Studios has made everything feel so alive. The sound work and music in the game is really well done for the tone being set. The sound design all comes together in order to settle you into your new home and farm. The music is pleasant to hear, and most of the time it melds so well with the atmosphere of the game you might not even notice it in the background. So would I recommend it? I really recommend this game to anyone who grew up playing life sims like Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing, or Stardew Valley. Even if you just like action RPGs, I recommend picking the game up, because there's so much work done on the RPG side of things that I think you could get your fill. Now the big thing for me was the price, because an early access game sitting at $28.99 Canadian creeps me out a bit, especially when dealing with a game that could take longer than the refund window to really get into. Well, I'm very pleased to say that the price actually makes sense here once you get into the game and see what it already has to offer. Everything is very polished and the implemented features are smooth and well done. The last thing worth mentioning that makes me confident in someone buying this game is that according to the developer, the price won't be increasing when the game is fully released. In my mind, that makes more sense then, because I often see the price of early access titles increase with the full launch, but start with a small cost. My point is that I do really recommend this game, and I can assure you if it looks like your thing, the price is warranted. Lastly, before I go, I just want to thank Pixel Sprout Studios and the Indie Game Collective for giving me the chance to show this game to you. I can't wait to be the creepy neighbor that people tell stories about at night, just goes around town giving individual planks of wood to people. Well, that's what I wanted to show, so I'll see you next time. Peace.